My name is Taylor Arndt. I'm a nurse at Bryan West on the Neuroscience Progressive Care Unit. I've been a nurse there for 4 years, and the past couple of years our unit has been one of the designated COVID units, so it's definitely been a challenge. So it was a good day, obviously, because my fiance's sister was getting married. Around, I think, 11 p.m. is when it was. My sister was the first person who came over to me and had mentioned that someone had collapsed on the floor. At first, my instinct was maybe it was someone who drank too much. I didn't know what was going on. So I kind of casually walked over there, and I saw Neal laying flat on the ground, and he was pale, didn't have any color. And then right away, I had people help me turn him to his left side. Just because I wasn't sure, like I said, if he was too drunk or what was going on. I didn't want him to get sick and aspirate. So kept feeling for a pulse this entire time. And when I couldn't feel for one, we rolled him back over onto his back, and I started chest compressions. I don't know exactly how long they lasted, but I kept feeling for a pulse in between each chest compression set and waited for EMS to get there. So I've never done CPR outside of work, so it was definitely I guess it was a scary experience because I didn't have the resources I'm used to at work. So at work you just press code blue and you get like 20 people in the room. And in this instance, there was no like respirator, there was no EED, it was just kind of felt like I was on my own. People did offer, I think there was one other person who offered to help, but I just was in the mode, so I just kept doing it myself. So I know that a lot of people are CPR certified, but when you don't use it, you forget how to do it properly. And I think that in that instance, it takes someone who's like, okay, I've done this before, obviously it needs to happen for someone like Neal, who is collapsed on the ground. But I think that everyone should be CPR certified because you realize that anything like that could happen in the public and you just don't know when it's gonna happen. It's just helpful to have that. I know that there were a few other people that were CPR certified, like in the bridal party, but I just think everyone gets scared and nervous about having to take action, so.
The only thing basically I know of it was what everybody's told me. Either people were here or, in the area. So like I said, it's one of those that I know the story just because people told me about it.
Has anybody, from what people have told you, were you not feeling well that day?
No, basically that was one of the things that was asked. Several people if I'd had signs, because most cases, because I had basically, my main problem was I had a lot of blockage. When they finally got me in, my blockage was, I had 3 arteries. One was 100, one was 99, one was 95, so. Up to that, I'd been walking on a treadmill for the last couple of years, about 3 days a week. Active at work. We were on the 2nd floor. I took the steps. Never really had any signs of, being short of breath or tired or anything. And they said that's not totally unusual, but most cases there's telltale signs that where I would have actually probably went to a doctor and possibly could have went in and did stents instead of, having what happened to me.
How grateful are you to Taylor, I guess, being here?
I'm very grateful. Like I said, without her starting it, Lincoln Fire and Rescue, the Heart Institute, I'd be dead. If I'd have been back in St. Paul, more likely I'd been dead. Luckily, I was at the right place at the right time. She started it. Lincoln Fire and Rescue are here within minutes. They could take me, or knew where to take me when I went to the Heart Institute. And that started the whole thing. After it was all done and I was basically kind of knew things and listened to people, statistically, I still should have been dead. So, I can't really thank her enough.